Your $30,000 solar system may never pay for itself, and a state regulator just made that official. That's move number 7 on this list of how the math got quietly rewritten. In California, the rules flipped in 2023. The value of the power your panels push back to the grid fell by about 75% on average. It used to earn you the full retail rate. Now it's worth about a nickel. Same panels, same sun, one decision. And California isn't some weird exception. You've probably watched the installer trucks crawl up and down your street. Neighbors throwing panels on the roof, everybody chasing the same dream of telling the power company to go pound sand. But across the country, utilities and the regulators who oversee them have been quietly swapping net metering for something called net billing. That was the deal that made rooftop solar worth it, and net billing pays you a fraction of what you used to get. 7 moves, all pointing the same direction. And the last one lands in 2026 and hits everyone. I'll walk you through the states already doing it, the trick buried on your bill that doubles the damage, and the 3 things that still make solar pay. That California decision didn't come out of nowhere, but Arizona got there first. Back in 2016, the Arizona Corporation Commission voted to end retail net metering outright. They replaced it with an export rate that ratchets down a little every single year. So today, a homeowner there sends power to the grid and earns maybe 6 or 7 cents for it. Then he buys that same power back at 13 or 14. You're selling wholesale and buying retail on your own roof. And the part that really stings? That export rate gets locked the day you install for 10 years. Lock in low, stay low. Now you might be assuming this is a blue state, green energy squabble. It isn't. Take Indiana, deep red, which killed retail net metering through a law called Senate Bill 309, signed back in 2017. Instead of crediting your extra power at the retail rate, utilities there now pay you the wholesale rate plus 25%. Sounds almost generous. But it works out to roughly 70 to 80% less than what net metering paid. And for brand new customers, the old deal is simply gone. Then there's Nevada, the move that should scare you and give you hope in the same breath. In 2015, regulators there gutted net metering almost overnight. The rooftop solar industry in the state collapsed, and roughly 2,600 people lost their jobs in a matter of months. But here's what makes it different. The backlash got so loud that 2 years later the legislature reversed the whole thing and brought net metering back. So it can be undone. Hold on to that, it comes back at the end. And if you're wondering why 4 different states keep making the exact same move, here's the thread. The core argument they all lean on is simple. They claim solar owners aren't paying their fair share for the grid. And it traces back to a single report commissioned by the utility industry's main trade group back in 2013. That same playbook later showed up as model legislation, the kind handed to state houses ready to sign. This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's a paper trail. Which brings us to the trick hiding on your own bill, and this is move number 3. It's called time of use pricing, and it quietly doubles the damage. Your panels make the most power at noon, exactly when the grid is drowning in solar, and that power is worth almost nothing. Then the sun drops, you get home, you run the air conditioning and the oven somewhere between 4 and 9 in the evening. And that's the precise window when electricity costs the most. In parts of California, evening power runs around 60 cents a kilowatt hour. The credit you banked for your midday solar? About a nickel. So you're buying high and selling low every single day by design. Honestly, it's a brutal little piece of math. Now Florida, and this one is the cleanest look at how the sausage actually gets made. In 2022, the Florida legislature passed a bill to phase out net metering. Reporters later found that bill was largely written by the state's biggest utility, which then turned around and donated to the senator carrying it. But the governor vetoed it. So Florida still has full net metering today. The catch? The industry fully expects them to take another swing. The bill didn't die. It's just sitting there waiting, and that brings us to move number 1, the one that lands right now, in 2026, no matter which state you live in. For years, the federal government handed you back 30% of your solar system as a tax credit. On a $30,000 install, That's $9,000 off the top. As of the first day of 2026, for anyone buying their own system, that credit is gone, not reduced, eliminated. So picture it stacked up. You're paying full price for the panels, earning pennies for the power they export, and buying your evening power back at peak rates. That's the entire machine, running at once. And yeah, I know, that's a lot of bad news to swallow in one breath. This whole tangle of leases and fine print and rewritten rates is exactly what I started writing the Home Power Owner's Manual to decode. I'll come back to that, but the point was never to scare you off solar. Solar still works, and it can still be one of the smartest things you do to your house. The goal here is making sure you're the one who walks away ahead, not the guy with the tablet at your kitchen table. So here's what actually still pays. First, before you sign a single thing, look up your own state. There's a free public database called DSIRE, Siriusa.org, that spells out exactly what your state credits you for solar right now. It takes about 5 minutes. The honest caveat, it won't model your specific bill, so use it to learn the rules, not to nail the final number. Second, and this is the one that changes everything, pair your panels with a battery. Under these new rules, dumping power onto the grid is a losing game. But storing your cheap midday solar and burning it yourself during that brutal evening peak, that's where the money quietly moved. It's the single move that drags a 15-year payback back down into something reasonable. The real catch is that a battery adds serious cost up front, often 10 grand or more, so run your own numbers before you commit. Third, and I'd put my own money on this one, own the system. Buy it with cash or a loan. Do not sign a lease or a power purchase agreement. With a lease, you don't actually own anything, and you don't pocket the remaining credits. You're locked in for 20+ years with payments that keep climbing, and that contract can turn into a real headache the day you try to sell your house. Consumer Reports has flagged that exact problem. Ownership is the whole ballgame. So here's the core of it. Net metering isn't getting killed in one dramatic vote you'd see on the news. It's being quietly traded away, one state decision at a time, while everyone looks the other way. But you saw what Nevada proved. These rules can be reversed, and a sharp buyer can still come out ahead under them right now. Know your state, add the battery, own the system. That's how $30,000 of panels still pays you back. One quick thing, nobody sponsors this channel, which is why the Home Power Owner's Manual exists. Its chapter on solar lease and PPA traps is the contract decoder this whole video pointed at. You got the gist free, but the link's in the description and pinned comment. And if you think your solar credit got rigged, wait until you find out what your utility can legally do. They bolted a smart meter onto your house without ever asking, and that's the next one. YouTube thinks you'll like this video, so click it. And if you made it to the end, subscribe.